Monday night, it's Race Spot TV, Rachel Whiteford and Conor Maddock here, bringing you all the action from Monday night Skippys here. Just a few moments time, we will go live to the track as Okayama is round number 8 here for us in the schedule. And Tom Ward is back. Let's see what happens, Connery, when we get to the green flag here in just a few moments time. But the grid. Mark Turner on the pole with a Stuart Adcock, on the pole with a fantastic lap. Clark Williams in second place with Mark Turner in third. Ross Balfour in fourth. Tom Ward down in fifth place. Gareth Dorning in sixth with Steve Hefford in seventh. Mick Watson in eighth. Jake Tucker and Stephen Wareham, your top 10. Rest of the spots coming up for you. But Connor, as you were saying to me before, wow, looking like our top 5 practically within about a tenth of a second at the moment. So this is going to be a close one.
Yeah, it is top 14 within a half a second and the top 20 within just 1 second. That's how close the front of the field is and can be in this series as the drivers get themselves lined up on the grid. It's going to be 44 cars if all cars take the grid right here. Massive field here at Okayama. It's one of the free tracks, one of the standard tracks on the iRacing service that you get automatically when you sign up, which means that its participation at this track is usually very, very good indeed, as we see the 44 drivers take the grid.
We certainly do, and your leader's taken to the grid now for what's likely to be an action-packed race. This one always busy. And well, the times are very, very close. 42.2 was your pole time. Where do we get to a 42? 43.2? Well, all the way in 21st place. So the top 21 cars within a second of each other, guys. This is going to be a fantastically close one. Hello if you're joining us on Race Spot TV and iRacing Live. Monday Night Skippys, about to go green flag in just a few seconds' time. Stuart Adcock, Clark Williams on the pole. Resurgence from Williams with a good qualifying position from him for the first time in a while. It's fantastic to see him up towards the front of the field. Last few cars will take to the grid now as we'll get ready for 14 laps of racing here in Japan. Quite warm temperatures as you'd expect. The engines rev. Green flag flies. We're underway here at Okayama and heading down towards turn number 1. Tom Ward sitting behind Ross Balfour will pull to the outside for a wide run, but Balfour has the inside line there for 4th. Ward has a nose, but can he hold it? No, he cannot. Lead held by Adcock. Williams the second, Turner in third. Looking back through your field, 2 wide through the first couple of corners, 3 wide a little bit further back in the pack here, Connery, as everyone gets through with no major problems.
Yeah, that's exactly something I was going to mention. Most of the front half of your field is single file right now. They try to weave out a line a little bit coming into the uphill hairpin, coming towards the end of the first sector of this lap, side-by-side battling. This is going to be for P15, P16, around that sort of area. This is Neil Bontemps versus Craig Hobson. They're going to head side by side, but for the race lead right now, it is going to be Clark Williams and Stuart Adcock. They're going to head themselves side by side, coming down into the right-hand hairpin. The cars behind will head themselves side by side as well. That was Mark Turner and Ross Balfour, and now Ross Balfour will have his teammate right behind him in Tom Ward. Here, Tom Ward has not gained any positions off the start as he gets very close to the rear of his teammate right there, coming through the middle sector now. And well, it's been very, very quiet indeed, oddly quiet.
Certainly has been a very clean one so far as we're heading up towards the end of lap number 1 here today. Field spreading out pretty quickly, 2 wide back in the pack. Looking here at 23 of Nick Singley, and a huge pack of cars there. Traffic is very heavy back here in the mid-pack, around 22nd position cars on the grass there. One of those being, I think, Darrell Taylor, one of the Epicuri Banana cars. Things getting a little bit tight at the front as we look back towards the lead. Adcock defended well from Williams. He's holding that first place. Oh, big crash we just had. Well, let's see here. It's 23. That, Connery, I believe, was
Paul Gordon. Many cars down on pit road right now. Let's see what has happened with those cars. This is coming towards the final few corners, and wow, this is one of the biggest wrecks I've ever seen in this series. The initial contact was between the 42 and the number 74 4, maybe involving the number 50 of Paul Thurston there. And wow, that is an absolutely huge pile up coming into the penultimate corner. Absolutely nowhere to go for your drivers back in your pack. And wow, that is absolutely insane. And that is the reason why so many drivers decided to head their way down pit road to just get that fast repair. But that was certainly interesting, Rachel.
If it's ever somewhere you want to crash, it's right in front of the pit entrance. It's a fantastic spot as we're looking back towards the lead for the live coverage. Adcock and Williams dicing here. First time we've seen Stuart Adcock with a fantastic qualifying again in a while here, Connery. So some guys picking up their tempo, an old classic of a track here. Adcock, Williams, Turner, Balfour, Ward with Dorning, Hefford, Watson, Tucker, and Wareham, your top 10.
Yeah, I mean, well, side by side between Mick Watson coming through yet another left-hand hairpin and yet another right-hand hairpin on this Okayama track, which is quite fond of those hairpins. Steve Hefford and Mick Watson still going to head side by side, just on the entry to the penultimate corner, but they're having to fall in line for the final corner. But yeah, cars are relatively doing okay right now, single file at the front of the field. Meanwhile, the likes of Bill Fraser and Stuart Mathers and all of those drivers that headed down pit road, they're just coming out of it now. There's Adrian Wenman is going to be heading his way down out of pit road relatively slowly, I should say. That's a little bit of a danger. Maybe he's waiting for all this traffic to pass, but early goings in this race have, apart from that absolutely huge wreck at the penultimate corner at the front of the field, it's been relatively clean.
Certainly has been, of course, and wow, things have been crazy. I think what we saw there, Connery, with that big crash we had earlier on was that's a corner where you lift slightly, you don't brake, and I think we saw someone brake in that corner, so possibly why things concertinaed somewhat. But look at this, the run by Clark Williams, the number 98 car, getting a huge run on Adcock. Can he take advantage and convert this into a position? Hard to go around the outside, of course, for this turn 5. But if he can carry the momentum, it is possible. He has to carry at speed through the corner. Hold Adcock low. He keeps the overlap. He has the inside for turn 6, just about. He has to hold him out wide. Another inside corner for Williams. Can he use this to take the lead? Again, not going to have a chance, but the battling has done this. Look at this, Tom Ward. 3 wide, out of turn 7, towards turn 8. Ward up the inside. He backs out. Bit of concertinaing there, is all behind him. Balfour contact with Dorning as things got crazy. All round goes Adcock, and over the top goes the car of Dorning. I think that was there. Get a replay for you here. Contact with Balfour and Dorning a little bit further back, and I'm not sure what happened here, but Tom Ward plows into the back of Stuart Adcock, spins him out. And there you see it, carnage, and Tom Ward to the lead.
Yeah, and well, Stuart Adcock ran a little bit wide after that contact with the, what was the second place driver of Clark Williams, coming through what would be Redmond Corner, then coming into Hobbs. He got back on track, he's within the track limits, and Tom Wood went for the apex. Not expecting that Stuart Adcock would be so slow, just ran straight into the back of him. I think you have to have a little bit more situational awareness. Does that 09 machine of Tom Ward, and that is definitely not what you want to see the leader getting wrecked out of the race as a result of rear end contact.
No, not a fantastic move at all up here through turn 4. They're going to run up the hill now towards turn 5 again. Tom Ward leading, but Balfour very close here. Hefford looking at the 3rd place here as we lost a couple of cars in that incident. Surprisingly large number of cars, including the likes of Watson and Adcock, also Clark Williams. So a tricky situation there as 2 wide. It is Ross Balfour challenging for the lead, Tom Ward's teammate, but look at this move. Hefford as well, he's a touring car driver, used to racing in traffic. Can he find a place to make this move? It's very exciting racing up here. Not going to see him go 3 wide, but no, Hefford will sit behind Balfour. But look to the top side. Balfour holds that lead position there, but Hefford definitely has his nose in here. This is not going to be a single car in here today, Connery. It looks like we have a real fight for this one. And right behind them, Gareth Dorning, John Sully, Stephen Wareham, all up in the action.
Yeah, they are. Actually, you just heard Tom Ward apologising to Stuart Adcock for that contact on the last lap there, so he definitely feels that he was at fault with that one, and I think there was really no doubt about whose fault that one was. Is Tom Ward maybe going to make move down to turn one? No, he's going to lift and coast, and that gives Steve Hefford a good run, and a little bit of rear end contact coming down into turn one between Hefford and Tom Ward, but unlike Stuart Adcock and Tom Ward, they both keep it pointing in the right direction. Now Gareth Thorning has a little bit of a chance coming into the Moss S's on Steve Hefford, but it's not going to be close enough to make it side by side. Maybe coming down into the outward curve, which is this uphill right-hand hairpin, he may have an opportunity. He looks towards the inside line. He's going to have to be very late on the brakes here, as Steve Hefford also late in the brakes, following right close to the gearbox of Tom Wood. And now it's important to get a good exit here. It'll benefit you all the way down the straight, and it's not going to slipstream. Gareth Dorning looking to drive his right-hand side of the track. That is not the best idea. You just sitting behind and get the draft. I'm not sure what you're doing there, Gareth Dorning. Side by side for the race lead. Will we see through wide for the race lead? Here comes Tom Ward down the inside of his teammates. The green wheels versus the turquoise wheels, both from the same team. And Ross Balfour is just going to hold position for now. But look at this train that has now developed for the lead. 5 cars strong, and there's a train behind them consisting of Wareham, Tucker, Gary Toll, and Woollett that may catch up and challenge them if they fight too much.
Interesting to note, of course, Balfour had contact with Dorning, which actually cost him his nose cones. The very tip of his nose is missing. Wing is very damaged. Back of Tom Ward's car been lifted up a few times. There's a couple of cars here. A little bit worse for wear at this stage, but as we mentioned, of course, it's Balfour, Ward, Hefford, Dorning, Sully, Wareham here. Now Jake Tucker, Gary Tall, Woollett, and Bontemps up into the top 10 here. Woollett making a great entry here with a good top 10 running position at the moment. Now we want to keep an eye on. We'll have a look a bit further back here. Off we got Peter Cowan. He's back in the series. We've not seen that name in quite a while. One of the Club 100 machines. Looking to try and get a move here on Simon Maltby in the 16 car. Gonna dive to the inside. Gonna make it very easy at this stage as he does look up the inside there for turn number 1. Gets through, no huge problems, just clears him. Brian Loynes also, no, Stuart Bunyan also having a quick look, but going to be on the outside, not going to have a chance to make that one happen as we look to do the 33 cars. Had a crash. Connery.
Yeah, this one is of Nick Sigley, and well, this is on down onto the brakes, coming down into turn 1. The car ahead of him of Kip
Ellis Stevens spun.
Yeah, Ellis Stevens had a little bit of an issue getting himself around that corner. The rear end of the car just broke away, and then he was slid on the apex of the corner, and Nick Sigley just, well, just a little bit, as I said with the Tom Ward incident, a little bit of a lack of spatial awareness.
Oh, the front, Connery. Things getting very, very busy actually at the front of your field here, as they are running now through turn number 7. And things just got very busy there running from turn 6. Big cluster of the front drivers here. Still Balfour from Ward, from Hefford, Dorning and Sully, but things have really packed up here.
Yep, they really have, and you've got the teammates of, well, at least I think the team is they're both running McLaren Honda deliveries, but Stephen Wareham and Jake Tucker, they are absolutely catching this front pack by about a couple of tenths of a second a lap, so they'll be in the mix when it comes towards the end of this race. We're not even halfway through yet. This is coming on to lap 7, so end of this lap will be halfway through this race, and Tom Ward looking maybe down the inside of his teammate. No, he's just going to hold station for now. Here comes Steve Hefford deep on the brakes again, almost makes rear end contact with Tom Ward. But he has to be a little bit later on the brakes if he wants to have any opportunity of getting past at this moment in time. Gareth Dorning is just sitting there, just watching and waiting and being patient. John Sully on the back of this train. So I'm wondering when this second train manages to catch up to the front train, which I think they will, how much fighting will we see? It must be an insane amount. Any one of these drivers in any of these 2 trains right at the front could possibly win this race, and this is what the UK&I Skip Barber Series is all about, at least before Tom Ward showed up. It was, you could see any one driver in this front pack can win this race. Here we go, side by side for the race lead. Ross Balfour, Tom Ward. Tom Ward trying to run the outside of this time on his teammate, but Balfour is going to try and defend his position. Not going to do it before the next corner, though. Tom Ward will have the opportunity coming down into the left-hander, but he's not going to carry enough momentum through there, so he's just going to have to settle for that second place. But now Steve Hefford behind them, still looking racy. Will Tom Ward have another look coming down into Hobbs corner? Nope, not going to happen.
Now he backs out and they'll run up now through the alternating hairpins here. 2 180-degree corners towards the end of your lap for these drivers to negotiate. Ross Balfour, Tom Ward, Steve Hefford up here at the front, and well, considering their teammates, Connery, they're racing very hard against each other. Balfour and Ward chopping each other off and making aggressive moves here. This is what we like to see, of course. Not normally a track known for its draft racing, just by nature of how long the straights are. They aren't quite long enough. The longest straight, really, apart from the run from 4 to 5, is the start-finish line from, of course, last corner to first corner. Yes, those are the corner names. Last and first corner. They were original here in Japan. As, look at that, Dorning moves himself past Steve Hefford, and he gets a bit of a tap from Hefford for it. Hefford still thinking he's in a touring car as he bumps the back of Dorning's Skippy there. But moved Dorning up into third spot. He had a great run last time by Connery at Oran Park in Australia, so we'll look to see something here.
Yeah, he's one of those drivers that I've really been impressed with at the start of this season. Himself and John Sully and Gary Toll. Really impressive improvement on seasons past. And here we're going to have another challenge for the race lead around the outside again. It has to be for Tom Ward as they break down into the right-hand hairpin. And now it's going to be Gareth Dorning right behind these guys. And let's see what he does. Is he going to be as tentative as Steve Hefford was while these guys are battling up front? He's going to look for the move around on Tom Ward and maybe around the outside. Not going to happen just yet as they head in towards the middle sector. But again, it's anyone's in this front train to win right now. Any one of these 5 cars, Ross Balfour, Tom Ward, Gareth Dorning, Steve Hefford, John Sully, any one of these guys can win. And if the fighting is ferocious enough coming towards the end of the race, even the ones in the second train, Stephen Wareham, Gary Toll, Jake Tucker, Matthew Willett, they also may have an opportunity as well. Let's look at them close up. Look at that second train close up in the middle sector. They've gained another 1/10 of a second last time by, and it's only going to be a matter of time before they join and make one big super train for the front.
All I can think, Connery, is that we know Balfour has the tip of his nose cone missing. Tom Ward must also be nursing some damage here as he looks to the inside for turn number 1. But at least he must be nursing some damage because this pack is backing up onto that second group and the racing hasn't been that ferocious. But we'll see if Ross Balfour can fight back here against Tom Ward and try and re-secure the lead here. Or will Tom Ward now skip off into the sunset as he is so used to doing? Gareth Dorning going to have a look here at Balfour. Can he make the move? Is Balfour going to start a progression backwards here? As Hefford will take a look as well. Who chooses to go where? As up the inside goes Dorning. Nice attack there by Gareth Dorning on Ross Balfour, but Balfour will have the faster line. Here comes Hefford with a big run. Is it going to be 3 wide for second place? It is 3 wide there. Red, blue and green wheels 3 wide. As wow, Dorning really pushing the car of Hefford right down low there, Connery. As big run by Balfour, going to try and go for the outside like his teammate has done to him. Can't quite keep the overlap in time, but Hefford gonna have a look as well. Oh, a bit of a tap there for Steve Hefford. He runs in wide. Gonna try and have another look back through turn 7. Not gonna make it in time. Tom Ward's gap is opening up a little bit here, and this is what Tom Ward wants to see. He wants to see them fighting. Because if they focus on him, he might be in trouble here. But the battling is intense.
Problems for the 207, Gary Toll, and this was in more of the rear end of your second pack. This is contact with the car of Stephen Wareham, and well, Gary Toll was just trying to get to the track out, and well, Stephen Wareham's car was just still there. I don't think you can exactly blame Stephen Wareham for that one, unlike some other instance that we've seen in this race. But yeah, that was just quite an unfortunate incident. No one really to blame during the course of that one. Meanwhile, battle for second place. Steve Hefford, Ross Balfour heading down into turn 1. Not going to make that pass complete. As meanwhile, Tom Ward, as he does at so many races this season, most of the races in fact, he's just stretching out that gap at the front. Once he gets there, lets the cars behind fight it out and lets himself get away.
He does. We'll have 5 laps to go, including this one here at Okayama for round 8. Tom Ward, Ross Balfour, Steve Hefford, Gareth Dorning, John Sully, the top 5 in this one. Oh, as an engine blows for Gareth Dorning. That happened to about 4 cars last week, Connery, but Dorning there in turn 3, engine just goes pop. Narrowly misses being hit by John Sully, who has to brake to miss him at the start of a long straight, which will cost him so much time, but that was unexpected.
Yeah, but I guess it's a thing that we kind of have to now come to expect from these races. At least one engine is going to blow over the course of this race. That's just kind of going to be a fact of these races since we've seen it so often right now, but still this race lead battle still rages on. That gap has now been closed up by Ross Balfour on his teammate of Tom Ward. Steve Hefford is still there, so this pack of 5 that is, well, what was a pack of 5 has now been reduced to a trio for the race win. All podium positions up for grabs for all 3 drivers. It's just a matter of who's going to be, what is going to be the order of them at the end of the race.
Certainly is. That first group, though, pulling away a little bit here now. They've managed to stop fighting quite as hard as it is Ward, Balfour, Hefford here. Your podium trio in this one, as we'll come on to the 4 to go point as we cross the line. We'll see what Sully, Wareham, Tucker, Woolett, Harding, Bontemps and Hobson can now manage as they'll come across the line and drop themselves up into the top 10 positions. Gareth Dorning, unfortunately, on pit road there. Could not make it back. We'll have to tow. Hefford here attacking Ross Balfour, Connery.
Yep, as they head through the Moss S is coming down into outward curve. Steve Heffert's maybe he's looking left, looking right. We decides to do neither of them and then just falls straight in line. But he's kind of running out of laps at this point, lap 11 of 14. And, well, you have to say advantage Tom Ward at this moment in time as he's got his teammate right behind him, able to play rear gunner for him. Coming towards race lead, both cars, P1, P2, good defensive line. Will we see 3 wide for the race lead? Yes, we will. Coming down into the right-hand hairpin, Steve Hefford deep on the brakes, and he's going to power slide it on the exit of the corner. And Tom Ward and Ross Balfour going to head themselves side by side. Tom Ward is going to have a little bit of a power slide on the outside of the corner as well, and move Ross Balfour up into P number 1. I don't think these cars are going to do any team orders. Like I alluded to, they're racing for the race win.
Absolutely are right now. Ross Balfour with a huge run there through 5, 6 and 7 regains him the race lead on Tom Ward. Steve Hefford still in 3rd. Can he attack Tom Ward now and take advantage as this second group? We actually have a chance to catch up here. This could make it very interesting. Going to be 3 to go this time across the line, and what will we see? Will Tom Ward attack back immediately, Connery, or will he wait patiently here?
I think he'll attack back the best he can as he gets a relatively wide run coming out of the final corner, but he is going to make it side by side coming across the start finish line, and I think Ross Balfour's just going to let him through there. He's trying to figure out where does he want to be coming across the line for the white flag lap, and that could be absolutely crucial, as it most of the time always is here in the Skip Barber Racing School Series. You don't always want to be leading when it comes towards the white flag lap. Because you can make a draft pass on the final lap if need be. But Steve Hefford, he has to try everything right now. On the brace, coming down into the outward curve. Again, he was thinking about the move coming down the inside, just decided against it, and instead trying to focus on getting a good run out of here, maybe making it 2 or 3 wide again, coming down into the hairpin turn.
Could be indeed. Balfour has a run. Will he look to the outside again on teammate Ward? Hefford not going to be close enough to take part this time by. But it'll be Balfour and Ward 2 wide. Balfour has the advantage into the corner. Can he carry this one round? It's the place he's passed Tom Ward a few times, Connery, as he just edges him out there. Tom Ward holding on to that lead. Steve Hefford can try and take a look at this one. We'll look back at the packers. Oh, contact! Neil Bontemps. Big crash running through turn 5. That was, I believe, just ahead of him. That was Harding and Woolett that had the crash. As it looks like Woolett got loose. He came across the track and hits Harding. Completely initiated by Woolett on his own. See the replay there. Round the 2 of them go. Big damage.
Yeah, I just noticed that car was what we call crabbing a little bit. That was as a result of the contact. There was a slight as a contact between himself and Seymour Harding.
Oh, Hefford
coming
off.
through the hairpin turn.
Hefford has retired the car. He's had problems, and this was in the final hairpins, Connery. Looking now. Engine blown. Oh, interesting.
Yep, and again, it's not all that weird in this series. We saw so many last time out at Oran Park that it was incredibly weird to see that many cars have issues on the final lap with their engines. But again, it's something I guess we now have to come to expect. Now it's a 2-horse race between 2 teammates at the front of the field. Tom Ward in that green-wheeled friction racing machine, and Ross Balfour in the turquoise-wheeled Skip Barber racing machine as well. And, well, it's going to be a fight to the death between these 2 teammates. The next car down the field will be a couple of seconds behind the Stephen Wareham. Meanwhile, they just jostle for the position coming down into the hairpin turn. Not close enough yet for Ross Balfour, as Tom Ward has a little bit of a lockup coming through there.
does indeed. We'll see what he can do in the next corners coming up here as Ross Balfour gonna have to try and attack. He's only got one more lap after this one, Connery. This will be the final lap they'll be heading on to here, so if he wants to beat Tom Ward, he's going to have to find a way of doing it. No help from behind. This is car versus car, driver versus driver here. We'll see who can take advantage and make this one work, but let's promote Stephen Ware up into the podium spot here, which is fantastic news for him. John Sully just behind him in 4th place. If he can catch him, that could be an upset. Jake Tucker in 5th, Bontemps in 6th, Hobson 7th, Seymour Harding in 8th, Patrick Fairbanks 9th, Peter Cowan in 10th. Club 100 machine back in the top 10. This feels like the old days of Monday Night Skippys here on Racespot TV. As we'll go back to Balfour and Ward. Who will have advantage? Right now the gap's too big. Tom Ward, huge gap over Ross Balfour. Will we see an attempt this time? It's going to be no in the first sequence of corners. Gap just too big. Looks like Balfour just can't quite keep up with Ward now.
No, it doesn't look like that's the case, but he's going to get the benefit of the draft coming all the way down the back straight. And, well, maybe he can make a move coming down into the hairpin. He does close up on the brakes coming into Atwood Curve. But Tom Ward's going to get a little bit of a better run coming out of there. Not as good as he would have wanted to try and break the toe. And Ross Balfour, he's going to have an opportunity, I think, coming down into turn 5, the hairpin turn. But he's not going to get as much of a draft as you think. But Tom Ward is still going to play it safe, going to defend that inside line.
Certainly will there, and we'll see if he can make anything come from this. Oh, they're side by side just in the run. Can he hold inside it? Balfour just holds the inside line there. This is huge. Can he hold it through turn 7? Ward a little bit sideways. Balfour holds the inside line. They're still too wide. Advantage will be Balfour this time by. This is not a corner you can really go around the outside on, but late braking required as it'll be too wide now. 4 corners to go. Balfour now. Now it'll be Ward. The contact between the two of them. Oh, nearly. Balfour still holds around the outside. Too wide through half a lap here. Can he sling it around Tom Ward, or will Ward just have the chance? Balfour holds on heroically here into the final corner. And what a drive by Ross Balfour here, running to the line for the final time. Will Tom Ward have the draft pass though? He's going to look for it. Will it be soon enough? No. Ross Balfour with the win at Okayama. What a fantastic result there, Connery. The racing on the last lap between those two was absolutely phenomenal. Stephen Wareham will come home in 3rd place. John Sully in 4th. Jake Tucker in that 5th spot with Hobson, Bontemps and Harding, Fairbanks and Cowan. What a final lap.
That was an absolutely fantastic lap, and to be honest with you, I thought they were going to take each other out in that penultimate corner. That was so close to being very, very messy indeed.
I've never seen that, Connery. I've never seen people go too wide from turn 7 till the end of the lap, or carry around the outside the penultimate corner. That was huge bravery and respect from those two.
Yeah, fantastic racecraft and fantastic pass from Ross Balfour on that last lap. That was absolutely fantastic stuff, and the gap at the end was 0.027 seconds. That must be one of the closest margins we ever had. Not the closest, because I have definitely seen closer than that. But, well, if we can have that every week, that would be absolutely brilliant.
Certainly was, folks. Well, unfortunately, we are going to have to love you and leave you. We'll run through the final results first. Ross Balfour with the win. Tom Ward, 2nd place. Stephen Wareham with 3rd. John Sully in the 4th spot. Jake Tucker in 5th. Craig Hobson, Neil Bontemps, Seymour Harding, Patrick Fairbanks, Peter Cowan in 10th. Barry West, 11th place, with behind him Brian Loynes, Mark Turner, Luke Ashton-Jones. 15th place, Stuart Bunyan, Mark Day, Stuart Malcolm, Nick Singley and Oliver Elliott, with Daryl Taylor rounding out your top 20. Rest of those results up on your screen. Connery, it's been a very busy round here. Okayama, always one of those fantastic tracks for Skippys. We see some of the best racing you could possibly imagine at this track. Well, I can't wait for next week. Can you?
No, I can't. And it's just sort of a congratulations to some of the drivers that we didn't really get to cover, but ran a fantastic race. Stephen Wareham in that final podium. Saw John Sully, Jake Tucker, Craig Hobson, Neil Bontemps, all inside the top 10. Fantastic running for those guys. And the like of Luke Ashton-Jones, which I haven't really seen before, getting himself a P14, that is a fantastic result for him. And there's a couple of other drivers down the field. Oliver Elliott getting inside the top 20 as well, so a good run for him as well.
Certainly is, folks. We'll be back in just a few moments' time with post-race interviews, so stick with us and we'll be back very soon. Welcome back to Racewhat TV and iRacing Live here. Monday Night Skippys post-race interviews. And well, it was a busy race here in Okayama. And a fantastic result for some people. Craig Hobson came home today in 6th place. Craig, that was a little on the crazy side.
Yeah, just a little bit. Great race though. Very slippy out there, even though it's a cool track. But it was a bit of a fight along with water temperatures and things. But yeah, no, it was a good race. Good result.
It certainly was. These Skippy engines definitely seem to be on a little on the explodey side recently. What has changed?
I think, to be honest with you, the actual cooling system on the cars have been changed in an update at some stage through the past updates we've had, and yeah, you've really got to watch the oil and water temperatures on them. Got to get some clean air through them, or else if you stick behind people in the draft, it just cooks the engine, and before you know it, they'll go bang.
Certainly seems that way. It seems like a game of pass the grenade around until someone just goes bang at some point during these races, but things definitely make the racing more interesting, shall we say, when you have to keep the car cool far more than you used to. Perhaps a little bit more realistic, you could say, as we seem to be joined by your teammate John Sully, who Craig, we'll just move across to him for a second. John, you came home today in 4th place. Great result for you too.
Yes, it was. It was a good team result, actually. Craig did very well to finish 6th. My result was very unexpected. I think I qualified about 12th, which was a bit average. Mind you, the times in the top 20 were very close. I was just making serene progress, and all of a sudden the Red Sea parted, and I found a lucky way through a 6-car pile-up and found myself in 5th. Then someone's engine blew right in front of me, which I had to slam the brakes on for, unfortunately, which enabled Stephen to catch me up, and then I just had to let him go because my engine was about to expire like everyone else's. But all in all, 4th was not a bad result, really.
Certainly not at all. The engines have been definitely temperamental from what Craig was telling us a minute ago, but fantastic result from both of you. I'd say you were the biggest movers in the field, but they actually weren't, Connery. Peter Cowan, 36th to 10th in this one. Club 100's back.
Yeah, and actually one of the biggest moves is actually going to be the 386 Luke Ashton Jones. He moves himself up from the last place on the grid, or at least of the drivers that actually took to the grid. He moves himself up into 13th position, and that's a net gain of 29 positions, and 29 positions is more than the average amount of cars in a normal sprint race.
Certainly is, and speaking of someone who's more than the average number of cars in a sprint race, we're joined by Paul Thurston, who's had a little bit of a busy one today. Paul.
Hello, just looking at the replay there, I didn't realise I'd done anything, but it would appear I should owe about half the field an apology.
What happened? Would you like to tell us?
Well, you didn't see that one then. Basically, I was used as a pinball on the first lap. Everybody seemed to hit me again. But I came round the final, or just coming around the final corner, and I realised the car was bent because I'd just been hit from behind again. And so I dived across the curb into the pits. But what I did was I basically slowed just before then, and Paulie Thompson hit me up the rear. He didn't have a choice. He was, he was perfectly positioned to follow me around the corner. Nothing wrong with where he was. And then, of course, him hitting, he stopped. Someone hit him, someone hit him, someone went inside them. And yeah, there was a fair amount of carnage, which was completely and utterly my fault.
Certainly is, and well, it's been a very busy one for you, but slightly better race for your teammate Barry West, who came home today in 11th.
He had a great race.
So, would you like to talk to us, Barry?
Yeah, it was a good race. I really enjoyed that. Apart from, I got big apologies to make to Stephen Smith, I think. I hope you didn't catch it on camera. I just pushed him at the back into the wall, which I had a good run on him, and I went to the left of him, and he must have moved over, and I just caught the back of him. But big apologies to Stephen. But apart from that, just slowed the car a bit. But yeah, I managed to avoid all the carnage, and I think the brakes done me good, just calmed me down a bit.
It certainly is, and whilst it was a good one for you today, not so great for Gary, who, whilst you had fantastic pace, just unfortunately got some car contact.
Yeah, a couple of times. I think first or second lap, Stewart collected the back end of me, and then I'd overtaken Jake, I think, and tried to do the same move on Stephen, and I think I was inside enough, but we obviously just squabbled a bit over the corner, and it broke my rear wheel. I couldn't get the fast reset to work either, so it was the end of the night for me.
It unfortunately was, and well, a busy race here at Okayama. Thanks to all my guests who joined me for post-race interviews today. We've had Barry West, Craig Hobson, Gary Tall, John Sully and Paul Thurston. Connery, it's been a great one tonight, and we are going next week for round number 10 to Interlagos. Follow that with Watkins Glen, Alton Park and Sebring to round out the championship. I've been Rachel Wyford. I've been joined by Connery Maddock, and as always, Hugo Luis on the cameras. Thanks for joining us, and see us same time next week. Good night.